You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are simply someone who has been carrying too much for too long without rest. Maybe you wake up in the morning already exhausted. Maybe you go through your day feeling hollow inside, smiling on the outside, while something deep within you has quietly gone dim. If that is you, right now, this video was made for you. Because over 2,500 years ago, the Buddha looked deeply into the exhausted human mind and found a way through. Welcome to Buddha's path to peace. This is a space of stillness in a noisy world, a place where ancient wisdom meets the questions we carry in our hearts today. If you are new here, welcome. We are so glad you found your way here. If you have been with us before, welcome back. In today's video, we explore one of the most quietly devastating experiences of modern life, emotional exhaustion. And we look at what the Buddha's teachings, timeless, compassionate, and deeply practical, can offer us as a path to real healing. This is not a quick fix. This is an invitation to go deeper. So find a comfortable place to sit, take a slow breath, and let us begin together. There is a kind of tiredness that no amount of sleep can fix. It lives not in the muscles or the bones, but somewhere deeper, in the very center of our being. We wake up already exhausted. We go through the motions of the day, feeling hollow. We smile when we must, speak when required, and yet something inside us has quietly gone dim. This is emotional exhaustion, a state where the inner reservoir has been drained, not by one great trauma, but by the relentless accumulation of worry, disappointment, grief, unmet expectations, and the grinding effort of simply trying to exist in a demanding world. Modern psychology has given us frameworks to understand this phenomenon: burnout, compassion fatigue, emotional depletion. But over 2,500 years ago, a prince named Siddhartha Gautama walked away from a palace precisely because he saw this suffering everywhere around him. He sat beneath a Bodhi tree, looked deeply into the nature of the mind, and arrived at teachings that remain, to this day, among the most sophisticated maps of human suffering and its release. This essay explores what the Buddha taught about the exhausted mind and how those teachings can become a living practice of recovery. I teach two things, and two things only: suffering and the cessation of suffering. The Buddha's first and most foundational teaching is the noble truth of dukkha, often translated simply as suffering, though the word encompasses something far richer. Dukkha includes pain, yes, but also the subtle unsatisfactoriness that pervades even pleasant experiences. It includes the anxiety of impermanence, the knowledge that everything we love will change, that every good moment will end, that nothing we grasp can be held forever. Emotional exhaustion is, in Buddhist terms, a direct expression of dukkha. It arises when we have been fighting against the nature of reality for too long, clinging to what we want, resisting what we fear, and wearing ourselves thin in the battle against change itself. The crucial insight here is radical. The Buddha does not tell us that suffering is a mistake, a punishment, or a sign of weakness. He says it is the nature of unexamined existence. To suffer is to be human. The path to healing, therefore, does not begin with self-blame or with the frantic search for happiness. It begins with a gentle, courageous turn toward our pain, acknowledging it clearly without dramatizing it or pushing it away. This simple act of honest acknowledgement is the first movement of recovery. Buddhist psychology identifies 5 mental states, called the 5 Hindrances, that prevent the mind from achieving peace. When we are emotionally exhausted, we are almost always in the grip of one or more of these. Recognizing them by name is itself a form of liberation, because we begin to see our suffering not as a permanent identity, but as a temporary weather pattern passing through the sky of awareness. The third hindrance, sloth and torpor, is especially relevant to emotional exhaustion. It is the state of heaviness, withdrawal, numbness, and an inability to engage. But the fourth, restlessness and worry, is equally present. The mind that cannot stop replaying the past or anxiously rehearsing the future. Emotional exhaustion often involves this paradox. Too tired to act, too agitated to rest. The Buddha's teaching identifies this paradox without judgment and offers a path through it, not by fighting these states, but by meeting them with a quality called Sati, mindful awareness. When you feel pain, know that you feel pain. When you feel peace, know that you feel peace. This knowing is the beginning of freedom. Satipatthana Sutta mindfulness, in the Buddhist sense, is not a relaxation technique or a productivity hack. It is the radical practice of being fully present to whatever is happening, pleasant or unpleasant, without adding the extra layer of judgment, story, or resistance. For the emotionally exhausted person, this is deeply countercultural. We live in a world that tells us to push through, stay positive, and keep busy. Mindfulness asks us instead to stop, to sit with the heaviness and let it be known fully, without immediately trying to fix or flee it. The Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha's primary discourse on mindfulness, instructs us to observe 4 domains: the body, feelings, mental states, and mental objects. For recovery from emotional exhaustion, this becomes a structured practice. We begin with the body. Where does the exhaustion live? Is it a tightness in the chest, a heaviness in the shoulders, a fog behind the eyes? By locating the feeling in the body without narrative, we anchor ourselves in the present moment. And in that anchoring, the grip of suffering loosens, even slightly. One of the 3 marks of existence in Buddhist teaching is anicca, impermanence. Everything that arises passes. Every thought, every feeling, every state of the mind is in constant flux. This teaching is often received with dread. If everything passes, what is the point? But the Buddha intends us to receive it differently. If everything passes, including our suffering, then no state of pain, no matter how total it feels right now, is permanent. Emotional exhaustion, too, is impermanent. There is a well-known Zen story of a king who asked his wise men to create a phrase that would be true in all times and all circumstances. They returned with 4 words: "This too shall pass." The exhausted mind tends to freeze time, to believe that the heaviness of today will be the heaviness of tomorrow and all the tomorrows after. Anicca gently breaks this illusion. It asks us to look at our experience the way we look at clouds. They arise, they shift, they dissolve. We do not grasp at the beautiful ones or rage against the storm clouds. We watch and we breathe. You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Metta, loving kindness, is one of the 4 Brahmaviharas, or divine abodes, in Buddhist teaching. It is the unconditional wish for the well-being and happiness of all beings. And crucially, the traditional metta meditation begins not with others, but with oneself. This is not selfishness. For those who are emotionally exhausted, self-compassion is not a luxury, but a necessity. The metta practice involves silently repeating phrases of goodwill, first toward yourself, then gradually expanding outward. A traditional sequence might be, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease." For those in emotional exhaustion, these words may feel hollow at first, a kind of performance. The Buddha anticipated this. He did not instruct us to feel these things immediately, but to practice them. Like a muscle, the capacity for self-compassion grows with use. Over days and weeks of practice, the phrases begin to penetrate, and something in the exhausted heart begins, quietly, to soften. The Buddha's prescription for ending suffering is the Noble Eightfold Path. It is not a list of commandments, but a holistic way of living, an integrated approach to aligning the mind, heart, words, and actions with wisdom and compassion. For those recovering from emotional exhaustion, the Eightfold Path offers a daily framework, not a rushed cure, but a gradual reorientation of the entire life. For the exhausted person, right effort is perhaps the most immediately practical teaching. The Buddha defines right effort not as maximum exertion, but as the wise calibration of energy. Like a lute string, too tight and it snaps, too loose and it cannot play. Right effort means learning to recognize when we are overextending and choosing, consciously, to stop. In a culture that glorifies overwork, this is a revolutionary teaching. Rest is not laziness. Boundaries are not weakness. They are, in Buddhist terms, the foundation of sustainable practice. The Buddha did not teach an individualistic path alongside the Dhamma, and the Buddha himself, he placed the Sangha, the community of practitioners, as the third of the three jewels. This is a profound acknowledgement. Healing does not happen in isolation. The human being is not built for solitary suffering. We need to be witnessed, heard, accompanied. The Sangha reminds us that suffering is universal. In a meditation group, a Dharma study circle, or simply an honest conversation with a trusted friend, we discover that our pain is not a private failure, but a shared human experience. This discovery is itself healing. To receive compassion from another is to begin to believe that we are worth caring for, and to offer it to others, even in our depleted state, is paradoxically one of the fastest routes back to our own aliveness. The second noble truth teaches that the cause of suffering is tanha, craving or thirst. We suffer because we crave things, to be other than they are. We crave the pain to stop. We crave the approval we did not receive. We crave for the lost relationship, the missed opportunity, the version of ourselves we imagined we would be by now. This constant reaching, whether toward pleasure or away from pain, is the engine of exhaustion. Letting go is perhaps the most misunderstood Buddhist teaching. It does not mean indifference. It does not mean we become cold, passive, or uninvested in life. It means we learn to hold our experiences, our joys, our loves, our losses, with open hands rather than closed fists. When we stop fighting reality and start meeting it as it is, something extraordinary happens. Energy that was locked in resistance becomes available again. We begin to breathe more freely. The world, which felt like a constant demand, begins to feel workable once more. There is no final destination in Buddhist practice, no moment when we arrive, permanently healed, immune to exhaustion and pain. This is not a pessimistic view. It is a liberating one. It means that healing is not something that happens to us when the right conditions align. It is something we practice, moment by moment, in the ordinary texture of our lives. Every time we stop and breathe, every time we meet our pain with curiosity rather than contempt, every time we choose rest without guilt, every time we offer a kind thought to ourselves or another. In all of these moments, we are healing. The Buddha himself was a human being who sat with suffering, not above it, not beyond it, but within it, and found the way through. His greatest gift was not a map to a paradise somewhere else. It was the revelation that the light we seek is already within us, waiting to be uncovered, not created. Emotional exhaustion dims that light, but it does not extinguish it. And the teachings, practiced with patience and gentleness, are the hands that slowly, tenderly clear the dust away. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings find joy. May all beings live in peace. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings find joy. May all beings live in peace. If this teaching touched something in you today, even just a single word, a single breath, a single moment of recognition, then the path has already begun. You do not need to have it all figured out. You do not need to be fully healed before you start. You only need to take the next small step with gentleness, with patience, with kindness toward yourself. If you found value in today's video, please take a moment to like and subscribe to Buddha's Path to Peace. Every subscribe is a small act of support that helps us bring these teachings to more people who may need them. Share this video with someone you love, someone who is tired, someone who is struggling, someone who simply needs to know they are not alone. And if there is a teaching from the Buddhist tradition that you would like us to explore in a future video, leave it in the comments below. We read every single one. Until next time, walk gently, breathe deeply, and remember, the light within you has never gone out.